Hello, and welcome to the Alchemist Inkwell.
This is your spiritual podcast for grounded people.
I'm Emily.
And I'm KristaLyn. And we are well out of eclipse season by the time you're all hearing this, which is nice. But we are also physically, at the time of this recording, out of eclipse season, which I'm glad about. This eclipse season was the worst eclipse season I've ever had.
Oh my God, it was you especially, but it was worse. It was horrible. It was a terrible eclipse season. And honestly, last year's eclipse season around this time also really sucked. Like pretty bad. I white knuckled through both of them, but I literally felt it yesterday afternoon. We're recording this on the equinox, the day after the eclipse. I felt it on yesterday afternoon, like around 4 or 5 our time. I was like, oh my God. Just like the energy just and it was really nice to get out of it. So congratulations, everybody. You made it. You survived. You made it through eclipse season. So did we.
Yeah.
We all made it.
We survived just barely, but we did it.
Yeah, Krista.
Man, I'm so bummed I won't get that dash cam footage. But anyway, so the good news is this morning did kick off with, this morning, and again, you're hearing this a little bit after the fact, but it's comforting to know, this morning the moon was doing really nice. It was moon day, moon hour, and where I was, the moon was rising at the same time as the sunrise because they were so close because it was a new moon eclipse yesterday. And during that hour, I made the talisman for our Thailand folks, and I'm very excited about that. The energy felt really good. When I was done consecrating them, the energy in them felt really good. So I'm excited to be able to share those.
Right, on the equinox, killing it. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do the magic here. What are you doing?
Absolutely. Yeah, we are recording this a grand total of 2 days before we leave for Thailand, which is wild. I can't believe it's here. It feels like...
Finally.
I feel like we've been waiting for this one specifically for 2 years. We haven't. It's just been a year, but it feels so long for this one.
But I'm telling you, even at the beginning of this year, when I still had the Egypt trips to look forward to, the Iceland trips to look forward to, my energy was in Thailand.
I know.
And I don't know what that's about, but I'm excited to find out.
I was looking at my astrocartography of it a little bit with Charlie, and I was like, oh, I got good lines and pairings chilling in this space, so it better be really good stuff, really good stuff that comes up. I think it will be, but I'm ready for that after this eclipse season. Come on,
same,
bring it on. Let's do things.
Well, and considering what we know may happen while you're in Thailand, it might be really good stuff. Did it happen to be midheaven line stuff?
It didn't, but it was career stuff still. So still tracks. Cool. Still tracks. I forget exactly what it was. It was so many things. It was a lot of lines. So I was like, okay, there's a reason I'm going to Thailand, I guess. Let's go. Yeah, so a lot of lines there. But this episode is we're just catching up. We're just going to talk about our bookends. We're just going to do some Hygge, which, by the way, my daughter is now in a production of Frozen the Musical, and she is one of the characters that gets to sing Hygge, and she is thrilled.
That I would be too.
So there's that. Oh, good job, Lee. Rock on.
As always. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're just catching up with you guys. I do encourage you. I know you'll be seeing this about a week later than we recorded, of course. But we do encourage you deeply. Make sure you write down your experience or do something to synthesize the amount of energy you went through during eclipse season. This is important for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, it helps you navigate all the stuff you went through, which is great. We love that. We love a moment of navigation, writing it down. And two, it's also going to help you in 6 months when you go to look back at last eclipse season. You'll have those notes because they do build off of each other in a happy little ball.
They can. Yeah. 6 months is going to be a shift in eclipses. So I would, we'll get to there when we get to there. But they are going to, if they don't rhyme with this, they will build upon it for the next thing that comes.
Yeah. So it's a nice and important thing to just note it all down and be oh yeah, what happened last eclipse season? This. It gets demon voice. So
it was appropriate. I approve of that voice.
Thank you. It was all the things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff. As everybody who's watching the video sees me roll my eyes. But anyway, yeah.
So I will say too.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, you go.
I was going to move into bookend. If you're going to say something else, I think it's important.
Really quick. I was just going to say, for this week that's coming up for you all, as well as last week for you all, currently it's our week, I can't stress enough how much my guides have been reminding me to find hope and to find little joys. And I thought that was a really lovely thing to kind of start off the bookend space with, because we are getting to a place where a lot of stuff is intentionally driving in hopelessness as a way to make us feel that way, as a way to make us take less action. That's not a conspiracy, by the way. That's like a proven propaganda technique.
Yeah,
so like that's not me being like, they're just trying to make us feel sad. They are.
Yeah.
They are trying to make us feel sad and hopeless, and not letting them is really important. And that can be just little things that can create so much hope in your life, and remind yourself how good people are, and just finding like little joys, little happies, like looking really small. I just really encourage everybody to do that, especially with the energy of this week and coming out of eclipse season. I think we really need some of that. So instead of turning cynical or nihilistic, which both are really easy to do right now, go the other way.
Yeah. One of the things
highly encourage everybody for that.
One of the things that I've been intuiting lately is just like the image I get of like, what do we do? And all my guides give me is like, put your hands in the dirt, tend to a garden, tend to like nature, reconnect with earth, and remember that it's like you and the planet, not you underneath all the people that are making ridiculous decisions right now. And so if you can, even if it's like just potting a plant or planting a seed or harvesting something that you've already planted, you know, it's around that time where we're coming to where a lot of things are harvestable, but usually that means that you're planting things for the next season too. So if you have any form of plant work that you can do, I think this is a good time to do it, because it's going to be really, surprise, grounding.
Right. Yeah. It was really great. This weekend I actually went to a concert, which was of like my favorite band. But it was actually like kind of almost like, it was so intimate. It was just him and not the whole band, which was pretty cool. And so it was almost like a poetry reading / concert. Like there was crowd participation. It was in a bar. It was like really, really cool. But most of the songs that he sings are activism songs, and it was really neat because it was really hot in the space, and we were all like super duper sweating. And of course you're like, oh, that's a concert and you're sweating, like that sounds miserable. And yes, it can be, but it created like almost like a Temescal or sweat lodge type environment. He's native, and he even talked about like, hey, I guess we're all doing a sweat lodge today together. Like, let's do this to make this sacred. And there is a song that's just building off of what you said, that it was the encore, which it's one of my favorite songs of his, and I've seen the whole progression of the song over the time because I love live music and have seen lots and lots of shows and like to go to shows just at a whim. Anyway, everyone in the audience was screaming, like full voice screaming the lyrics of the song, and one of the lyrics is very much like, put your hand in the dirt, like this is where you came from, and like talking about all of that. And it was such a cool release, very much Temescal sweat lodge ceremony moment of that, because yes, that's what it is. It's like we are in that space, and we need to create spaces where we feel that, like viscerally feel our connection to earth, not just like, okay, yeah, I'm on the planet too, but like sit in the water, touch the dirt,
connect with it,
part of the experience of what it is to be on the planet. I think it's huge right now.
To anybody who heard me say no in the middle of all that, I was yelling at my dog who was threatening to bark, not at him.
Didn't think you did say it to me.
I would never.
Dang it, Jack, don't do the barks.
You knew it was Jack.
He's a very sharp spoon.
He is.
Not a sharp utensil, but this spoon is kind of pointy.
He's a big fluffer, and he's great.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's dive into bookends. What are we doing?
Oh, let's see. This month, I don't know which one that was. Someone stretched and made a groan.
Oh, love it.
So this month I read John Edwards' Chasing Evil, which was really... I am impressed by this, because one of the things that I was like, I read it because we had John on the podcast, and I really love John's work. It was, the whole FBI thing had me for a second being like, am I just going to read like a true crime thing with some psychic elements? But the way this book is designed, it's actually a really good Intuition 101. Like a really good, this is how the spirit world works with our world. This is how I do this technique. This is, how you can validate things, how you can ask for validation. There are stories about that. So I was really impressed, and the audiobook reads really well. So it didn't feel like I was listening to like some kind of nonfiction, whatever. It felt like I was listening to kind of a mystery psychic thriller, which is not usually where I'd go, but for the purposes. And it brought me back to my roots, because I learned a lot of my basics from John Edward, where it was like this and this. And it was cool because as I was reading it, I was just going back to my roots a little bit with those things. And it really helped me feel grounded again, and almost even more confident in what I'm doing, because I just remembered. Like one of the meditation techniques I used to use, I started doing it again. And it's just been a lot more, it's made my images even in readings more visceral and more accurate. Like they already were, like nobody who had a reading with me had a bad reading, don't worry. But it was just like I got more details in different ways. So it kind of expanded my psychic lexicon a little bit again, which was really nice and welcome.
That's awesome. I love that.
I know.
I'm glad you read it because I was intrigued by it, but it was just like a throw it on the TBR. Haven't got to it yet. That's really neat.
Yeah. It was really cool. I really liked it. For anybody who's thinking about reading it, mild trigger warnings because, they're dealing with bad people. And so sometimes they'll explain what the case file said and like what happened. And some of these bad people, of course, have weird fetishes. So they mention it and then they move on. There's no like graphic depiction, but they describe it. And that's for SA and a little bit in the animal cruelty area as well. It goes by really quick. If you start hearing it and you skip ahead 30 seconds, you'll be out of it. But, it's case files from FBI stuff. So it's what it is. But around those things, really beneficial and good. And then what I'm reading right now is The Lost Apothecary. It's what my book club is reading.
Yeah.
Because we're about to dive into some plant magic. So we decided to read this fiction book to sort of kind of get our warm up in that. And then we're going to start reading some nonfiction plant magic books in the student study. Yeah. So I'm finishing that up. And I think next on my list might be House of the Beast by Michelle Wong. It just seemed really interesting. And I have a lot of long flights coming up. So, now the pups are sharing the bed. Well, that's adorable.
Oh, good for them. Good job, babies. Way to share. Until Zelda decides she's done with it and snaps at Jack like some sort of asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, what did I read? Let me pull up my Audible. I read the last 2 books in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series that are available.
Hey.
I will never, ever, ever, ever stop talking about them. They are so fucking good. You should absolutely listen to it. It's so good. Like, they're so good. I cannot stress it enough. So that is The Eye of the Bedlam Bride and This Inevitable Ruin. Both of which were like 38 hours long, by the way. So I read it's very stressful. Like, everyone should read it, especially right now. They literally held my mental health together over the last 4 months, like 100%. They are so fun. They have such a good, beautiful points. It's all found family and you care about it so much. The writing is exquisite. The shit that happens.
I mean, I've read the first one, so I can only imagine, but...
Oh my God. The shit that happens goes absolutely insane. There's a moment in the last book. It's not the last book of the whole series, by the way. There's still going to be 3 more. But there's a moment in the last book that I read that Carl just kind of narrates what's happening from like an outsider perspective. He's like, I don't even want to spoil it because it's so funny, but basically he like narrates what's actually happening. Like if he was just like actually understanding what's going on, and he's in the middle of this huge fight and he just uncontrollably starts laughing because it is so ridiculous. It's still scary for him. He's like, okay, yeah, people may die. Like this is a big deal, but also what the actual fuck? Like this is so absurd. But it all makes sense, which is the wild thing too. I've not found a single plot hole or a loose end or anything. All of it makes sense, and all of it perfectly is interwoven into the lore of this world, etc. I'm probably not going to read anything else by Matt Dinniman because they all tend to be a little bit more like graphic and not as funny, I guess, and that's like not super what I'm into in books. But 10 out of 10 across the board, 5 stars for every single book of that series so far. It's one of my all-time favorite series, and I will never shut up about it.
That's awesome.
Ever. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I want to wear sneaky merch in public just so people notice and, like, I can find friends that have read it. Like, that's ridiculous for me, by the way. Don't like doing that. So, anyway, so I read those. And then I'm almost done with Jacqueline Benson's Fire in the Glass.
Ooh.
Which is her London Charismatic series. I think there's 3 or 4 books in
How
that
was
series.
that?
So far it's pretty damn good. She's a fabulous writer. She's the one that wrote the Raiders of the Arcana, which, by the way, the next one comes out in October, and I'm so freaking excited.
I know.
Which is the ones that we talk about that are the, like, ancient history. Like, there was the one in the islands in Central America, and then there was one in Egypt. We've talked about it on here. I just want to circle back to it. Anyway, I got the special editions, but they're not handy. I was going to show them off. Yeah. It's fine. Anyway, I was like, well, I'll read one of hers because I know her writing's going to be good. And it is. I will say this one, it takes place in 1914 in London, which is still kind of like, not exactly Regency era, but it's kind of Regency adjacent. So it's kind of a weird time in the history of London. Yeah. But eugenics is getting super popular.
Oh.
Yeah. And so it's this story of this woman. It's an adult book. It's not like I always have to clarify that because whenever it's like a main female protagonist, it's like, oh, is it YA? It's not YA. But it's the story of this woman, and she's a bastard. This is not a spoiler. It's like right off the top she tells you. But she's a bastard of like an earl right? So she's very much on the outside of everything, and she's always had the ability to see the future at the most inconvenient times.
Great.
Basically. And it sucks for her, and she can never prevent it. It's always horrible shit. And so she is seeing it yet again, and that kind of leads her on a journey of finding these people called charismatics who also do other magical things. And there's social commentary, obviously, and they're taking on some eugenic stuff, etc. I will say where Raiders of the Lost Arcana is not predictable at all and like super fun, this one is a little bit more you know what's going on because you understand eugenics. She does not know what's going on because she doesn't understand eugenics. And so there's like a weird thing there. But it's really, really incredibly well written. It's very, very well researched. She rides a motorcycle, which is kind of fun.
That's awesome.
Which is, again, it's like Regency, like, you know, you need an escort to go to this thing, and then she hops on a motorcycle. Like, that's kind of cool. But because that's like actually historically accurate, which is just, But yeah, so far it's been fun. I think I'll continue the series. And I really want Jacqueline on the podcast. I was doing research into her background a little bit. Like I was just reading like more of her bio because it's different on the London Charismatics. She did her thesis on the anthropology of paranormal investigation in humanity. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I was like,
I want to be friends with her. Yeah.
You need to come on the podcast. You should be on the podcast. So anyway, isn't that cool? I was like,
that's the coolest. Yeah. I'm going to have to put that on my list because I know I'm going to need multiple books for this trip and all the airplanes.
Yeah, the book I'm probably going to dive into, if I have the gumption to do it, will be Alchemist by Sinley Yu. Manacled is one of my all-time favorite books of all time, and it's a fucking fan fiction. And it's a Harry Potter fan fiction. I don't like Harry Potter, so there's that. But it is so damn good, and she has written it into an actual book, not a fan fiction book. And that is Alchemist, and it's extremely long, and I know it's going to rip my soul out and stomp it into a million different pieces, so it's a matter of can I do this on this trip or not, but it's going to be long enough where I could listen to it the whole time, you know?
Yeah, in our morning touch bases, if you need to decompress from the book first, I will hold space for you.
There's the last line of Manacled, and I know it'll be the same in Alchemist, but the last line of Manacled is one of the single greatest lines I've ever read in fiction. Ever. And it's a fiction. It's a fan fiction. You read it for free on AO3. It's not on there anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
You can still find PDFs of it and stuff. I literally had it bound for me, which you can't pay for other than for supplies. Like someone bound it for me. I have a bound copy of it up there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's that well written, and I'm so excited that she's finally launching like an actual writing career, because holy shit does she need one. I hope that she writes new works though, and is not just basing it, like pulling her fan fictions and rewriting those into real works. I know that there's a lot of authors that do that now that are great authors, and like, you know, no hate to any of them, like Ali Hazelwood has made a killer career off of that, but I do think that she has the capacity to do some really cool new original story stuff, and I'd love to read her original story stuff too. So there's that, but I think I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna find something that is super fluffy and just read that. Well, I did DNF something in the first 3 minutes, by the way. No. This was new for me. I very rarely do that, but I figured I would. I also started The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I'm going to keep reading that over the course of witchy season. The book is How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. And I was like, this seems super fun. And it's also kind of a funny, it was marketed as like a funny fantasy style situation. And I was like, okay, cool. I could go for more funny after, again, Dungeon Crawler Carl. I was like, I'd love another like vibe like this. First of all, written by a man. Context is important for this. It starts off, the main character is a female, which I'm not saying men can't write women. Brandon Sanderson writes some beautiful, complex, wonderful, fantastic women. However, she is being tortured in a dungeon, and regardless of that, in the first couple pages, talks about sex and her supple breasts 3 times. Yeah. So I was like, fuck that. Like,
and someone published that. Like, shame on the publishers.
Yeah. And it was like trying to be like, she's like so funny about it. Like she's so blah, 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 blah. Like, and I'm like, this is disgusting. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't care if and like her whole premise is that she dies and gets reborn a whole bunch of times, like in the same situation. So almost like Groundhog Day kind of bit. I don't care if that's happened. She's still in fucking pain. She's not sitting there being like, wish I was in a bed getting railed. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah, no. Oh my God.
Anyway, that was also a horrible moment. Weston heard me go, at least start up, and they go, oh. It's like, what? I was like, not listening to that book anymore.
That's
and don't
trash.
get me wrong, if it was like written by a woman, to be totally honest, I might be like a little bit more like, okay, what are we doing with this? Like, this is a little bit more interesting, because I would think that there would be a deeper and different component coming into like understanding the characterization of the woman in the main. But like, because it's written like by a man, and we're starting off talking about your boobs, like, come the fuck on. Anyway, that's what I did.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the thought process. I would be there too.
So don't read it. I mean, you want to. If you want to read it and get further than me, because I literally got 1 minute into this book.
If you get further, let us know in the comments if it actually does develop into something.
Yeah. Cool. All right, shall we Hygge?
Let us Hygge. I have one from the patrons.
I do too. Let me find it. Okay, you go ahead and ask yours. And if I'm scrolling, it's not because I'm ignoring you guys.
Okay. So this one's from Jessica. And it's similar to, I think, one we've done before. But we can go a little bit in a different direction with it this time.
Sweet.
If you were a literary character, who would you be? And who would you like to portray you when your story gets picked up by movies or television? I like the when there, Jessica. Thank you very much. It is inevitable that our stories will be interesting enough for this. So if we were a literary character, who would we be? So that's an existing literary character. Literary is rough because I have to pick one from like a book. But I think I know who it is, and I bet you can guess who it would be too. Do you want to see if you can guess mine?
Who you would be?
Yeah, you know this. And if you don't guess it, that's fine, but you'll know it when I say it.
I know it. And then now my brain's like, no books at all. Characters don't exist. So
That's
who
fair.
is it? I know it.
Wendell. It's Wendell.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
Wendell.
Exactly. Yeah. I would be Wendell if I were a literary character, 100%. Who would you be?
Who would I be?
Oh, by the way, Wendell from the Emily Wilde series by Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, I'm trying to find, where are we? I had so many Hygge questions, and I want to make sure we have them.
Yeah.
September Campo. Almost there, guys. We're almost there. I post a lot in Patreon, and that's good. We love that, but I do post a lot in it.
Yeah. See, I'm lucky. Everybody puts them in the same, like, from the last Hygge podcast episode. That's where I draw them from, and I'm really fortunate my people do that.
I mean, so do mine, but it's like a month ago.
Yeah. Oh, so it's just hard to find it.
Yeah. So I'm just doing a scroll.
Yeah, I usually type Hygge into my search
when they come in. Oh,
that's smart.
I know, right? Where did they go? Oh my gosh, guys! If I missed your questions, I'm so sorry.
Just put them again, and we'll get them next month.
Please put them again, because I'm not finding them, and I don't know why. But put them again. Put them again, team. Maybe we can look at the collections. Okay, who would I be if I was a book character? I think the answer to that has changed throughout my life in different ways. Because, like, thinking about it when I was a teenager, I would have gone to Narnia in a heartbeat. Like, that sounds amazing. Being a book, I would, any of them. I love that.
Except Peter, because who sells out their family for a Turkish delight?
Not Peter, that's Edwin.
Oh, sorry, Edwin. Peter's the older one. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. So there's that. Or, being like Prince Caspian and just getting to live there forever and having your own castle. I like that vibe.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. So there's that. Who else? What else? What else we got going on? Funny thing is, I'm like, I don't want to be any of them. There's some worlds I'd want to go into, but I don't know if I'd want to be them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm lucky with Wendell because, like, all around fun stuff, but
he's a vibe. He is a vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Which world would you pick?
Huh?
Which world would you pick? Yeah.
So I love me a good Fey world.
Yep.
In general, even Valaris, honestly, and I
was gonna say, are we gonna go Akatar?
Sarah J. Maas, but Valaris would be great to go to. That sounds magical and fantastic. Except for that whole like they occasionally like bang in the sky thing, which I'm like not into.
Yeah.
But whatever. I would go into that one for sure. I already mentioned Narnia. I fucking love Narnia. I would also go to the Shire because of course I would go to the Shire. For those of you who don't know, I collect both the Narnia and the Hobbit books from all the places we go to. I have big passion there, and those would be great. I would go to the House in the Cerulean Sea post second book stuff where they have their own place. I would go there.
That's adorable. I like that.
Of course, I would go to Legends and Lattes. I would eat the shit out of one of those cinnamon rolls. Oh my God.
Rival Most Vile. I would go to that community because it's like a bunch of shopkeepers who are found family with each other. It's very nice.
That sounds great.
And they have like conventions and stuff, and it's really great. Yeah. Yep.
Love that. I love that so much. I cannot find this episode from. Why can't I? I don't know what's happening. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep casually looking for that. Who would play you? Who would play your?
Oh, who would play me when our story is picked up? That's really rough. Like I need more people to be openly non-binary, so I know like their actual energies.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. All of these are going to have caveats, right? Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't mind like someone who's similar to David Tennant's energy, just because it's very versatile. Mm-hmm. And I've realized now one of the important things is you have to be able to roll with the collisions. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of accidents in my story, right? So like you have to be able to fall off a castle and joke about it. You have to be able to get hit by a car and joke about it. You have to be able to be hypothermic and joke about it. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to fall out of a raft and joke about it. So it's, you've just got to be ready for doing your own stunts.
To be resilient.
Yeah.
And funny.
Yes.
You have to bounce off of the road.
Someone who can do their own stuff. Apologies to whoever ends up having to play my role in the future. Yeah.
I honestly have no idea because I don't have a celebrity worship thing, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I know a lot of celebrities, but I don't know. Who would play? Yeah,
I don't feel like there's any celebrity where I'm like, yeah, I get that vibe. You know?
Mm-hmm. I feel the same. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know either. Who would you guys think? Tell us.
Yeah, you let us know who should play us.
You tell us. I cannot find my Patreon questions.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry, guys. So you guys re-ask them, please, under this episode. I am so sorry for Hygge. But yeah, you guys tell us.
Yeah.
Who would play us?
Do we want to do one more Hygge question and then we can?
Yes, let's do it.
Cool. So this one did pop out earlier as I was shuffling the cards, so I respect that. The question is, what is something you learned in school that you have never had any use for in the real world?
That I've never had any use for?
Yeah.
The difference between meiosis and mitosis.
Dan and I just did trivia the other night, and that was one of the questions.
Okay, well, you may have had use for it in the real world then, but I
only
sure
for having the knowledge.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Backstory on that, and the reason I have that so in clutch, because the funny thing is, I'm like, every history thing in every history class, I've used that. My public speaking, I've used that. There's so many things, like, I think I use most of school. Even when things I learned in math and stuff, it still gives you, like, such good problem-solving skills, and, like, and I'm not good at math, but, like, also, I don't think that was nothing. But specifically this meiosis-mitosis situation, when I was in 10th grade, when you're supposed to go into, like, biology and, like, go deep into that, I went into biology, and on the third week of school, my teacher's son died. And so he left school for the rest of the year, reasonably. But then we just had a series of substitutes. And the only lesson plan he had at the time was teaching the difference between meiosis and mitosis. So we learned it, like, 4 different times from 4 different substitutes that we had all year long. That was the only thing we learned about biology, and other than that, we just watched Mythbusters.
It's about
so I've seen a lot of Mythbusters. I use that knowledge all the time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as far as that, I've learned it multiple times, and I've never needed to know it a single time, ever, at all. Yeah, and then they expected us all to go into chemistry, because that's supposed to do after biology, so I could go into 11th grade chem, and the first day I was like, I am not taking this class. Like, I don't know anything. We didn't learn anything for a whole year. So then I went to astronomy, geology, which I actually use all the time, because I love rocks and stars.
Same.
Give it to me.
Yep.
So, yep.
I actually got an award for getting the best grade of my class in astronomy and meteorology.
I love that. Oh, yours is meteorology. Yeah, ours is astronomy, geology. It was very much like a throwaway, like, hey, you need a science credit and you don't want to be able to pass. And I went in there like, I love rocks.
Same. I was like the only one who did the assignments, so it was kind of easy to be the top in the class. When I got called up to stage, I was shocked because, like, it was a science, and I had struggles with that in school. And the teacher just sort of winked at me, and I was like, it's because I'm the only one who turned in the work, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But still, it's stuff I like, so I did learn stuff. I think the thing I don't use is anything we had to do with the baby think it over thing. Because
the what?
We had to take home a baby doll and take care of it for like a week.
We didn't have to do that.
I took it to a midnight showing of Harry Potter, and a bunch of people judged me for it. And of course, like during the intermission, it started crying. So I had to go to the bathroom and stick the key in the back and turn it. But I did not need that and will not for my own life choices. The budgeting thing that you had to do as part of it is helpful. But I also don't think I'm going to need to remember, even though I know how to do it, how to balance a checkbook because I don't use checks now. So,
yeah, we didn't have to do that at all.
We had family and consumer sciences where we learned how to cook, sew, balance a checkbook, and take care of a baby.
I mean, don't get me wrong, cooking and sewing and balancing a checkbook, like, cool. Like, I think that there should be more of a life skills curriculum that comes in, especially like senior year. I think that should be like a required senior, but the take care of a baby piece is not the way. I'm sorry. I don't.
It was called Baby Think It Over. It was designed to make us not have teen pregnancies. But it just caused this horrible havoc once every semester of school when people had to do it because they had to have them in classes with them. And the baby would start crying in the middle of class. And then the teachers kind of shamed them a little bit. And it was a lot. So
yeah. Also, I was a teen mom, so I take personal offense. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But also, like, don't do it. Obviously, it's not fun to be a teen parent. But do I think that if I would have changed that decision if I had carried a baby around? No. I don't think it would have changed
It didn't stop.
at all.
It didn't stop people in our school either for, better and worse, whatever. No judgment to those people. Lots of judgment to the way that we were all treated for having a fake baby in the classroom, though. It was like they were really trying to drive it home with shame.
I think instead of carrying around a fake baby, why don't we just give teenagers access to real contraceptives and education? How about that?
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yep.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
You know, I will say it was really cool. Nevada now, when you're 15, you're gynecologically emancipated, which means that you can go to the gynecologist without your parents knowing anything about what happens in your appointments, which I thought was so cool. I was like, that is amazing. Because like my daughter, we've been dealing with some of her health stuff, and we went to this amazing gynecologist. She explained all of that to us. And my daughter's 13. She's like, so in 2 years, you're going to be responsible for telling your mom that. And Lee was like, can my mom just still come to my appointments? Because like, I really don't care. And she was like, totally. I just want to let you know that you have that, you legally are protected in that space. And I was like, thank you, like about time, because I think that's a huge thing, especially with like religious stuff and things like that, where people end up in really bad situations without that care. Yeah, that's a good one though. That's a good one for you about stuff you learned in school. I love that.
Yeah.
I also think that I did learn a bunch of very random things because I took so much art, but I do actually use those things still. But I probably use them more than any of my other things. Or I had this one really horrible teacher. She was awful. And she smelled so bad. And that was back when my nose still worked, so I could smell her.
Oh no.
But
what a time.
I go back to stuff she taught us all the time because she taught world religions. That was her like space. Yeah. And I always think it's so funny because I was like, I actually learned a fuckload from her, but she sucked. But I also learned so much. So that's fun.
Yeah, I am finding out now that I need more math than I thought I was ever going to need, but that's because I'm doing spherical trigonometry in my astrology work. So yeah, I got to algebra 2 trigonometry in school, but yeah, so I'm learning more now than I actually did in school.
I'll let you do that. That sounds so fun for you.
It's awful, but I love astrology, so I'll do it. Yeah, and then I'll be able to make it easy for other people, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, there you go.
If I can figure this out, you're gonna do so good. If I can figure it out, I can explain it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody, again, please ask your Hygge questions, and I will put them in a document this time and not lose them. And thank you guys so much for being listeners. If you could download this episode on whatever you're listening to, that would make it so helpful for us. Also, if you're on the YouTube or on Spotify, if you want to leave us some comments, share an emoji, or answer the Hygge questions yourself. We would love to hear what your answers to the Hygge questions are. It makes it super fun, and people like bounce off each other, and it's so collaborative. Yeah. And we're going to see you in 5 minutes for us, but we're going to record the next episode right after this one. We hope that you enjoyed this, and again, congrats about being out of eclipse season, and that's you. 1, 2, 3. Go make some magic.